426. Let's get into this. 426, the Hellish Todoroki Family final. All right. I'm going to try to get close to the mic. I don't want to peek, though. So let me know if it's cutting off or anything. We said you didn't have to come. I would say the same to you two. There is one all for one OC that possibly one of the best all series. Ooh, I got to listen to it. But Mom. And the same goes for you. But the same also goes for you, Ray. We're not all here out of sense of duty, right? Okay. Bro, they all look terrible. Natsu's haircut looks horrendous. You should have just buzzed it. It looks terrible. Endeavor, there's no way he returns to hero work after this. There's no way. I saw this. Okay, so this is what I saw. I didn't see any of this other stuff that's on the page, but I saw this panel like a week ago or something. This one. I saw that just by itself. So I was like, that must be Dabi. But yeah, that's all I seen. All right, he can speak, but only for a few minutes per day. It's a slow march toward death that Toya Todoroki is now facing. Brother, this is like torture. Good. What kind of contraption is this? This looks crazy. When will you start? No, you're good. I've been having health issues the last couple weeks. That's why I've been missing streams. So hopefully this week I'll continue my catch up. I still got to catch up. I'm still behind. But hopefully this week I can continue the catch up and we can make that happen. So I definitely want to do it. Definitely want to, but yeah, you're fine. Don't worry. All right, here we go. The gang's all here. I ain't some damn tourist attraction. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Toya. We're here to tell you about what comes next, Toya. I'm retiring from hero work. I would assume that you were. I'm sorry. I'm retiring from hero work. I would assume that you were, because the state in which you were at the end of that fight. I don't even know how you're still alive. That was always my plan once this war was over, okay? And now I can't even stand up on my own. Wow, he's actually just, wow. Wow. Endeavor the hero is dead and burned away. Your flames were fiercer than any I've ever faced. Is that so? My condolences. Quit trying to play nice now that it's all over anyway. You freaking coward. Fair point. You know me too well, Toya. You kept a close eye on me after all. Dude, I've been like having conversations about like the whole Endeavor family stuff because a lot of people rightly so want to see Endeavor beat people down in the woods. It's a lot of people like they whenever you learn about what Endeavor did, because there's been like, I want to say with this final piece, there's been 4 sections of this story, correct? Where we've gotten like 4 dumps of lore in a sense, like the Hellish Todoroki family. I want to say it's 4 sections. Like final counts as 4. Not counting any of the stuff we would have gotten, like with the Toya episodes, but the Shoto episodes too, or the Shoto chapters. And a lot of people I was having a conversation with two people, and they like we were talking about it, and they were talking about how like whenever they would talk about the situation, they mention like how Endeavor was a terrible person, and I like they misconstrue I feel like they didn't understand what the scene from the latest episode, not the latest episode, last week's episode, not last 2 weeks episodes, 2 weeks the episode that we got the because I was talking to anime onlys, the what's his face, the Shoto and Dabi fight. Whenever Toya is explaining how like he went back home, and when he went home he saw Endeavor and Shoto and all that stuff, and they misunderstood that scene as like, oh, Toya like went back and seen that Endeavor was like being abusive to Shoto and was like, oh yeah, nothing's changed and I'm just gonna go off on my own. And I'm like, no. I was like, you misunderstand that. You misunderstand that scene. A thou wow. That scene is to be like, hey yo, that's supposed to be me. That's how sad it is. Like when he went home and seen Endeavor and Shoto in there, it wasn't like, oh, like I can't believe my dad's beating up my brother. It was more so of, that's supposed to be me in there that he's training, and he just moved on without me. But it's just like a lot of like tiny context. If you don't remember, it's like whenever Toya first reveals himself, like whenever Endeavor starts to have like his panic attack, and Endeavor's like, I looked for you. Like I searched high, low, I looked, I couldn't find you. Because I think to him and to everyone, it's like, all we found was your jaw. We found nothing else. You just turned to dust. All that was left was your jaw. There's no way. I can't believe that you're gone. And it's just one of those things. And I feel like maybe the conversation that we could have, I want to have it when my throat feels a little better. But like I was looking back at Endeavor and how he treated the family. I need to go reread, because I've been rereading and looking, but I want to reread again, like fully, just that the Todoroki family sections, where I want to say that when like Endeavor went to Rei's family, he went to the next kid after Toya died. That's how it was. So it's like Endeavor married Rei just out of like court convenience. It was a quirk marriage. But I would want to say that Rei and Endeavor came, I don't know if I would say love. Only those two individuals would be able to say if they loved each other. And they never said love in the series. But they came to be in a marriage, to be in a relationship. Was Endeavor a power freak? Yes. But was it masked more so whenever he didn't have kids? It probably was. And Endeavor's an individual that pays attention to details to the people that it really doesn't matter, right? His family should be the individuals that he's paying the most attention to, and he didn't. But they had Toya, and how I view it, and so I want to reread it again. It's like he had Toya, and even though Toya didn't have the half and half, Endeavor entrusted everything to Toya. Like Toya was he was like, you don't have the ice quirk, but you are going to be better than All Might. That's why he was so transparent with Toya and just told Toya everything, right? Yeah, and it's like Rei's family was like struggling. That's why they like gladly accepted what's his face. That's why they gladly accepted Endeavor like offering all that stuff. But Toya was supposed to be like Endeavor. So he wasn't like, I feel like, and that's the thing, like the through line through all of this, through all the trauma, through everything. Out of his children, like if Endeavor had to rank his children right now, as he sits here right now, Toya probably was his favorite child. And I feel like he genuinely loved Toya. But one, the man doesn't know how to like properly show his emotions. And two, he got so fixated on All Might. Instead of him actually being a good dad, he was like, he thought that Toya should have understood what was happening to him. And it's just like, no, that's not how it works. He's just like you, and you can't accept no for an answer. So why would he? And that's the failure, because to my knowledge, Endeavor never hit Toya. He only got physically aggressive with Toya whenever he attacked Shoto. But it was whenever Toya burns himself, because it's just like looking at the scenes whenever Endeavor talked to Toya just like he was his friend. Like, yo, you dyeing your hair? I'm not messing with my hair. Nah. What are you talking about? My hair white? What do you mean? And then when he burns himself and then they do the test and they found out that his quirk's not compatible, instead of him just being a dad, he's just like, you know what? Fine. But at that point, when Toya burns himself, like they decided to have Fuyumi. It wasn't like Endeavor went to Ray and was like, we need to have another kid. No. Ray, if I'm not mistaken, was like, Toya shouldn't be alone. Let's have another kid. And Endeavor was like, all right. But at that point, Toya was still the pride and joy. Everything was fine. We decided to have another little baby girl. He didn't care about Fuyumi having both quirks or none of that stuff. It was just a note like, she doesn't have it either. Just a checkpoint. We didn't get the kid that I've been looking for, but Toya's still here, so we're cool. And it wasn't until Toya burns himself and the doctors say Toya can't use his firepower, his fire is going to hurt him, is when Endeavor just goes into sicko mode. And that's like the downfall, where it's just like, and then we have Natsu and Natsuo, and he doesn't have it either. And now it's just like, this is where the issue comes into play, because Toya Toya knows why mom and dad got married. Toya knows that's only I don't think that that's why I want to go reread it. In the manga, is it implied? In the anime, they imply that, but in the manga, is that implied? I want to go read that again. In the anime, it is, but I don't remember if that was in the manga. I have to go reread that. But it wasn't until, but it's just like Toya looking at Endeavor, seeing how Endeavor is acting and ignoring him. Toya knows why. That's the thing. So whenever it's just like, oh, you're having another kid, you're replacing me. It never was like, it was all like emotional and mental abuse on Toya. Like, I understand why you're having kids. You're still having them. I'm not good enough. Man, what are you talking about? I'm gonna prove you wrong. It's like, no, stop it. You're gonna get yourself hurt, bro. I can't stop because you told me this. I know what the deal is. I know what it is. I know what we're doing. I know what we're supposed to be doing. I know what this is all for, and I can do it. No, you can't. But I can. That's him. That's why you look so crazy with this. And he's like, I can. What do you mean I can? I can. I'm your son. What are you talking about? And Endeavor just being a drill bit instead of like sitting Toya down and being like, yo, this like I care about you. Because even in all, it's like the three oldest kids experienced the mental and emotional abuse, and Shoto's the one that got beat on because Shoto needed to get beat into shape. And then Ray got hit too. And so it's like Ray and Shoto were the ones that got hit. Like, Natsuo never got hit. He just got ignored. Fuyumi never got hit. She just got ignored. Toya didn't get hit. He got emotionally abused and like ignored. So it's just like, that's the pain of it. Like, that's the nastiness of all of this. That's what makes it so much more like layered, because whenever it like Toya burns up on Sokoto Peak, and it's one of these things where it's like, Toya exists. I know Toya exists, but Toya cannot get me to this no more. So Toya's better off just being here because I don't want him to be like, I don't want him to get hurt. I'm pretty sure Endeavor in his mind didn't want anything bad to happen to Toya, but he just never vocalized it the right way. Like, he yells at Toya. It was like you're like, what do you're still trying to do this? What are you? He just instead of just talking to him, he just blows up. That's his nature, right? Being fire and all that stuff. We know quirks and personality are related. So it's just the worst. So whenever Toya does burn up on Sokoto Peak and Endeavor's up there and he's freaking out because Now he's like, I should have been here. Why wasn't I here? Damn, I ignored him. What do you mean? Da-da-da. I gotta find him. There's no way I can't find him. He has to, like, Toya, everything that Toya meant to him before Toya stopped being of use to further his goal, he still was that. It's just he got put to the side. He's like the kid that gets a new toy and the old toy just gets tossed to the side. We don't think about the old toy no more. And that's terrible because Toya is your kid. He's not a toy, right? he's a child. He's not a toy. So you can't do that. That's where, like, the pain, and it's so it's sad. It's way sadder to me than just how everyone takes it as just, oh, and Endeavor just beat everybody. No, it's way more deeper than that. Way more. That's why it's so much more painful. And I feel like that scene, Hellish Todoroki Family Part 3, whenever Endeavor's like breaking down in the hospital and they're like, hey, yo, like, we all had our years of doing what you did and it was because of you. And it's like, we get it. And it's one of my favorite scenes. It's like, we get it. And I'm like, it's one of these things where I'm glad you feel this way now, but I'm sorry you can't feel this way right now because we have something to do. We have to clean up our mess. And then when we clean up our mess, then we can sit down together and figure out what we want to do as a family. Do we want you here? Do we not want you here? Do we kind of want you here? What are we going to do? And that's why I love that scene so much. It just, and it brings everything together. Toya also being the number 2 hero's kid, meaning that's probably the only thing he hears from people. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's just Toya's personality, just like his damn daddy. So it was once Endeavor let Toya know what the deal was, there was no changing his mind from that point on. There was no changing his mind. I feel like even in the healthiest situation, Toya would have crashed out some way. I genuinely believe that, and that's just, it's sad. In the healthiest situation with actual parents that would have sat down and talked to him, I still think it wouldn't be to the magnitude of what Sokoto Peak was. But I do think Toya doesn't stop. He doesn't stop at all. I don't think so. Just how his personality is. He can't stop. He would never. All right, let me continue. I'm so chatty Cathy because it said the final. This is it. You kept a close eye on me after all. You only ever wanted me to watch you, right? But I never did. Having you for a father. Guess what you are? Okay. People can say what they like, but the fact is that my hell flame that's my hell flame burning inside you. I watch the video of you denouncing me every single day. From now on, oh wow, that's a crazy panel. That's a crazy panel. I'll come here every single day to talk with you. This is tough. Because it would be like, it's like part of me is like, I'm glad that we finally got Endeavor this way. And then part of me is just like, why couldn't you have just been this way? Why none of this had to happen? Like that's what twists me up inside. It's like that's what twists me up. It's like it's a little bit thoughtful. And we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't have been here. And about there was another panel like this, but Toya without the scars. I gotta go back and look at it. I'm in the process of rereading a lot of My Hero. I'm in the process just because of the anime. But I feel like once My Hero ends, I'm gonna start from chapter 1 and reread again. Excuse me. I'll come here every single day to talk with you. I think this breaks through to him. I'm dead serious. Having not seen the rest of this, it's crazy to think about it because I was one of the people that was like, and this, I don't think this is like Dobby being redeemed because he's gonna die. He's not getting out of this case. He's not gonna be able to live a normal life. I don't think he's gonna die. He should have already been dead. His hatred is what kept him alive. So I think this right here, I'll come here every single day to talk with you. I think this is enough to make him break because that's all he ever wanted in his whole life. All he ever wanted was his dad's attention. That's all he ever wanted. And what pissed him off more was in the final battles, right? And in the final battles, he just wanted to clash against Endeavor because it would have been any way to make Endeavor look at him. And he couldn't. Endeavor had to fight All For One because Endeavor was our strongest hero. He had to fight All For One. He had to be the one to do that. So it had to be other people that dealt with him in these final battles, which just irritated him more and more and more and more. So now we get to this. There's no way. This definitely is going to break through to him. I guarantee you. I can feel it. Beeping's like crazy. Oh my gosh. I realize it's far too late, but let's talk. His heart rate's elevated. Any further strain could be dangerous. Pray not to Fuyumi. Let's talk using the time that Shoto made sure we'd have together. Yeah, he's gonna. I'm not gonna get emotional. If you hate me, so be it. Speak your mind. Lay into me. Let me have it. Toya, I want to talk too. There's so much I want to say. You're about to kill him. You're about to kill him. I'm getting emotional. I'm not gonna get emotional. That's enough for today. You can return tomorrow. One last thing, if that's okay. I have a question. He's gonna ask him what he likes to eat. He's gonna answer him. He's gonna answer him. I have a question. Toyo, what's your favorite food? Looks like he's reached his limit. Let him rest. You can come back another time. Soba. Yeah, he's gonna die. Like, he's going to die. It's like they don't have all the time in the world. So, this is sad. I feel I'm not about to cry. Soba, because that's Shoto's favorite food too. Same here. Running in parallel but forever apart. We're gonna mingle, whether you like it or not. Shoto, I'm sorry. He's crying. It might be blood, but still. Before the war, Bakugo told them it was going to be hot udon. I remember that when they were in the room, when they were all in the room talking. Listen, I'm done. So Natsuo's going to be like, I'm done with this. Listen, I'm done. Sorry, but nothing's changed about how I feel. And I don't want anything to do with you. He's well within his rights to feel that way, right? My girlfriend and I are getting hitched. No wedding, though. And you won't get to meet her. Right, I'm sorry, but I understand. Yeah. How about you, Fuyumi? You quit your job, right? I did. But the mother of one of my students said she's found a new job and can provide support. Honestly, I think we've taken responsibility. Punishment's been doled out too. Isn't that enough? I'll be making amends and apologizing for my sins for the rest of my life. Whether you're all around to see it or not. And I'll shield you kids from the fiery fallout to the best of my ability. If there's a reason I survived, that's gotta be it. Sounds like hell. Yeah. It has been since I took him up on his offer to tango. I never thought of you as a badass until this very moment, Dad. Unless that's translation thing, he called him Dad. So, are you headed back to school, Shoto? Yeah. And hop in. You too, sis. Thanks. Father, Mom. I'll be okay because my classmates will be there for me. And because I can become the man I want to be. Even in hell. I'm trying not to like. Done already? How'd it go? I'm hungry. That's right. They all tore up too from what happened. You've got people watching you. Hawks. Huh? They told you you're free to go? But you don't want to walk out of here? Nagant's alive. Not yet, I said. And I mean, when I say alive, she's healthier. She's alive and healthier. Because the last time we seen her, she was on top of a roof, beat the hell up, still trying to do what she could do, right? Providing support along with Gentle. But it's just like, she's doing better. The outside world's still a scary place for me. Imagine if I got exploited again. I can't have history repeating itself. I was really hoping for your help with some stuff. That day, Izuku Midoriya demonstrated something to the world. But how will society receive it? How will things change? I'm not leaving till I see how it all pans out. So she's gonna stay in jail. She's gonna. And in the meantime, I'm dining at the taxpayer's expense. Talk about a villain. Gentle. My dear La Brava. Gentle, my love. Your contributions have been well acknowledged. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. All because you were so stupendously awesome, Gentle. You were quite marvelous yourself, La Brava. My boy's free to go. He's free to go. Thanks, I'm good. If I need your help, I'll ask. Okay. How will things change? Taking it like a champ. You've got a lot on your plate. You got a lot on brain. You got a lot on your plate yourself. Damn. Mr. HPSC president. Determined to take center stage at such a young age. Hawks doesn't have his quirk anymore. We have to remember that. Or how will we change things? Mr. Mara. Who's Mr. Mara? I don't know who that is. I should know. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't remember. All right. And here's Spinner. What's that? Is that the sound of someone speaking that? What the world? I don't know. Mira is a commissioner. Didn't. Okay. As soon as you said that, I'm like, I know who it is. What a chapter. I really liked this chapter. I really did. Deku's got to talk to Spinner. I forgot about that. Deku has to talk to Spinner. Yeah, so in this one chapter, like I'm like these chapters, you can get a lot done, knocked out with characters. You only need like a couple panels to show where a character's gonna be. So it's like we know that Dobby's gonna eventually die. We could slow his death down, or try as best as possible. But I feel like with him, as if his hatred's gonna continue dying somehow, some way, maybe like that's gonna be sooner than later. Nagant's gonna stay in jail until she sees that society's better. Gentle and Labrava have been exonerated seemingly, and they're just free to go. And Hawks is going to be the abbreviation fails me, like what it stands for, but he's gonna work with the new what's his face. I would have liked if we got to see the other members speak to Toya instead of it being implied, since it's probably the last we see of him. It would just be more chapters of dribble, honestly. It's one of those things where I don't need to see their conversations. I feel like Endeavor's conversation was the most important because of the relationship between Endeavor and Toya, and because we never got to see Toya's relationship with anyone else. We got panels of it. Like we got Toya talking to Natsuo when he was asleep. We never got to see him interact with Fuyumi. The only time he interacted with his mother is when he was cussing her out. So it's like those conversations, would it be nice to have seen him? Yes. Do we need to see him? Not really, because we've only gotten to see like blips of what he thought of them, and he thought mad low of them. So like the conversation that mattered the most was Endeavor's, and we got to see like the bridge of that, and then Shoto asking this question, and then like Dobby breaking like that exterior wall breaking. It would be nice to get like chapters and chapters, but set it up. It's like the world's not going to end. I know that these worlds are going to keep going on. So it's like, it's nice to know that before he passed, they would have had these nice conversations. It's sad. It's sad, but it's definitely understood that Natsuo's like, yeah, I'm getting married, not having a ceremony. Like, yeah, I don't want you to, like, from what we went through as a family, I don't want her to meet you. I don't want her to be around any of this. So I'm done. Like, pretty much, I'm done with you. Kind of like that. I'll see you when I see you, in a way. So it's one of those things where it just sucks, but that's just where those cards have to fall. Sucky, sucky, sucky. But it's just how it is. And and it's like Endeavor made the bed, he has to lay in it. And he's willingly laying in it, right? He's not trying to force himself, because it could just be still nasty. But it's like he's not forcing himself to to like be in their lives and all that stuff. Yeah, he's disowning himself. Yeah, he's completely disassociated. Like, I don't want anything to do with this family. I'm done. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but he has every right to feel that way, right? Every single one of them. Every single one of the, like, Toya, how he reacted, as extreme as it was, like, valid. How Rei ended up feeling, valid. Fuyumi, valid. Natsuo, valid. Shoto, valid. How all of them reacted to Endeavor, 100% valid, because Endeavor was wrong, and how he acted, 1000% he was wrong. And now on the other side of all of that, with Endeavor turning over a leaf, with him changing who he was, with him recognizing who he was, with him accepting who he was. So it's not only is he recognized who he was, he's accepted who he was, and he's making the concerted effort to change, and he's not forcing the people that he wronged to accept him. If you want to be here, then if you want to be here, then I will do my best not to do what I did before, and I will make it worthwhile. I can't find the right word for you to want to continue to be here. So it's like, if you want to leave, you have every right to leave. I'm not going to stop you from leaving. Like, even if, like, and Endeavor's not even saying this, but even if it hurts, like, I wish I could have my family. It's just like, do I deserve them? No, I don't. I did too much. I did way too much. So it's where we are with their family I like it. It's like Shoto's like, I have my friends. Like, I'm not alone. I can become my own person. Right? I can become that. And you have Fuyumi who will stick around because she said she'll stick around. You have Natsu who's like, I'm done. Toya's gonna die. And Endeavor and Ray, from what I know of them before, like their relationship spiraled, they seemingly had a functioning, working marriage. And I think that out of everything that happened, like Endeavor cared about her and she cared about him. Can't throw the love word in there because neither of them ever said that they loved each other. I can assume, but I don't know. So I won't say that. But they had a functioning marriage. They got along well together. They definitely, it's like they had kids. It was enough. Like it was to a point where whenever it was like, okay, we should have Fuyumi because we don't want Toya to be alone. That was a Ray decision. That wasn't like an Endeavor. Like, yeah, we need to have more kids. That might have happened later. But that, like, they had a functioning relationship. So if she wants to stick around and she's able to like handle that mental strain, then good for her. I have no right. I have no right to be like, no, I don't think those are right. Can't say that, right? But that's just how I am in life. Some people don't have the compensity. That's not the right word. I think it is. Some people don't have the ability, the capability to forgive people, right? And I can. I definitely can. Not everything can get forgiveness, but I definitely have the ability to forgive people. But also, I'm not the individual that will hold a grudge against someone whenever they didn't do anything to me. So, like, I take this, the example that I use or that I can pull from is like Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart, he got caught. He was getting blackmailed, so he admitted to the fact that he was cheating on his wife. And a lot of people like chose not to forgive Kevin Hart because he's this and he's an adulterer and yada yada yada. And I'm sitting here, a viewer in this man's life, like if he was able to admit to the fact that he was cheating and had like a conversation with his wife and they went to therapy and went to this and did this and do all these things and they decided as a couple to stay together, then like who am I to be like, yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm not married to him. Like, who am I to still hold that over his head when there's a possibility that the person that he was in the relationship with that he actually cheated on was able to move past it. And they were able to move past it and have like a still functioning relationship seemingly. Like, if they're able to do that, then who am I to still lord something over someone's head? It's not me. Honestly, I don't really care that much, but why would I hang like that's to me, that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that falls under any situation if it doesn't get too severe. But yeah, hold on. Ugh. All right, let me stop babbling. I've just been chatty Cathy. Excuse me. All right, 427. This is this week's chapter. 427. Who was Tomura Shigaraki really? He was one terrifying fellow. Thank goodness he was defeated. Office worker 35. Students 21. My friend got killed by that vicious murderer. Honestly, this blows. My life like totally messed up now. Also, my house was destroyed. Housewife 70. I can't help but wonder if they couldn't have stopped him sooner. Restaurant owner 30. Look, everyone thought that freak was a 2-bit punk at first. Nobody expected him to turn into such a threat. So Deku did go to him. He did. Though the restoration is moving along at a brisk pace thanks to an outpouring of international support and volunteers. I recognize you, but not you. Those efforts have yet to reach some parts of the nation. The mountains of rubble yet to be cleared show the widespread extent of the damage. A great number of citizens had their lives turned upside down by the unprecedented wave of terrorism incited by the League of Villains. Who exactly was the League's leader, Tomura Shigaraki? Find out now in part 2 of this special report. That old lady is the lady that didn't help. That is it? Oh, is it? Wow. It's her fault. Sorry. It's her fault that all this happened. If she was just a little kinder. Sorry. He was in the process of becoming a full-fledged Nomu as his body was unable to withstand multiple quirks like body bulk and scale mail. However, thanks to the great strides we've made in Nomu research, we just barely managed to halt that process before it had progressed too far. Okay. Pretty shameless of you to strut on in here, murderer. Not Stain, damn it. Spinner, shut up. It's like, yes, you guys all went through a lot, but you guys all killed people too. I'm not here to deny that. And Shiggy Deku does have a body on his resume. Only to deliver Shigaraki's parting words. Oh yeah? Here to kick a guy while he's down? You're one sick puppy, you know. If Spinner survived, tell him this. You survived, so here's the message. Even to the bitter end, Tomura Shigaraki kept fighting to destroy. Huh? Shigaraki told you to say that? Yes. To you, Spinner. Me? Toga and Dabi too? Yeah? And Compress? No. Only you. Oh man. Shigaraki was my shining hope. With a smile, he said we'd destroy everything. He transformed Deka into a gnarly crater. He represented me and my voice. When I was oppressed for who I am. When I was oppressed for who I am, I was ready to give up on life. I was just some stinking heteromorph after all. Hey, yo! Brother, Deku still has one for all. He had knocked the hell out of him. He still has it. He had knocked the hell out of Spinner if he really went crazy. Spinner has been on Twitter lately. People saying Deku's a murderer and didn't try or try enough to save him. Dude, I'm not listening to that. That's why I'm like, there's no reason to talk to them. There's no, like, I mean, no, stop. I decided not to dwell on that crap. Too painful to think back on. But he gave a guy like me a dream to cling on. I had hope for major change. I dreamt I could be somebody. You don't have to put up with this from him. If need be, I can subdue. Look at Deku's hand. Just relax. Tomura Shigaraki was my hero. Destroying the world just for the heck of it? That ain't a worthy cause. Just a temper tantrum without a lick of sense behind it. He was a gamer. The ongoing investigation by the authorities was revealing that the man had quite the tragic past. Figuring out the root cause matters, sure, but let's not turn this into some sob story, or else sympathizers might be converted to the cause all over again. That's how people think, for real. The whole time I was a shut-in. Video games were all I had. And he was also a fan of all my faves. It has to be said, and we've got to say it with our whole hearts, so allow me. The guy was a piece of crap. He was my very first friend. Shigaraki told me he needed to be a hero to you all. The League of Villains held a special place in his heart. And I'm sure he felt the same way about you as you did him, which is why I think he wanted to let you know. I got caught up in the frenzy. At some point, I stopped dwelling on the idea that we were past the point of no return. I've always been too slow on the uptake. If only I'd taken one more step, then just maybe I could have saved my hero and friend. And maybe the next Tomura Shigaraki, or All for One, is out there waiting with bated breath. We have to keep an eye out for the next threat. You bunch are going to keep fighting, right? Also, with Spinner saying how Shiggy didn't have a message for Dabi, Toga, and Compress. Does that mean Toga is alive? I don't know. I don't think Spinner knows what's going on outside. I think he rattled off the members of the League of Villains. Because it was Shigaraki, Spinner, Dabi, Toga, Compress, and Twice. Twice is dead, so there would be no message. So he just rattled off the original members of the League of Villains. So I don't think Spinner knows what's going on. That's why he was like, "Yo, there's no message for Compress. There's no message for Dabi." Like he rattled those names off too because Spinner thinks so low of himself. He just was like he thought of himself so low that Dabi was this important individual and Toga was this. Like they all like lived up to this bill of who they were and had these moments, and Spinner didn't do anything. If we're being honest, I feel like we all wanted something from Spinner's character, and I think never really getting much from Spinner's character like proves to like his character even more. It's crazy. Like Spinner was someone that thought less of himself, didn't do enough, was like cowardish, didn't take enough steps. And then if we look back through the series and it's like, yo, Spinner really didn't do much. Spinner really didn't do much. He just was there. That's it. It's sad. It's sad, but it's a crazy way to like try to spin the fact that he didn't get enough screen time. Just like I wasn't there. I just was a bystander. Like I was here. It's crazy. It's crazy. You bunch are gonna keep fighting, right? Sooner or later, I bet you'll forget all about Tomura Shigaraki and the League. Just smiles and good times for you. Deku will never forget. He'll never forget. Well, I'm gonna write a book. One about Tomura Shigaraki, the symbol of fear. And about how the League of Villains live to destroy. A book that'll stick it to you heroes forever and ever. The past never dies. And I'll spin the tale of Tomura Shigaraki. Make it a comic book. Huh? And don't worry. I won't ever forget. He'll never forget him. Like, Deku will never forget this. Ever. Ever. He'll never forget it. I got a message too. Tell your octopus pal to give life all he's got, Shoji. Hell no. Didn't he did? Hell no. Okay. Waiting room. How'd it go, kid? Sukauchi and and All Might. Did you pass on the message? Yeah. Regarding your request about Chisaki. They got the old man up. What? What a sorry state you're in, Chisaki. How'd they do it? Did they let him do it? How'd they do it? Boss, you were never supposed to come out of that coma. You mean what your quirk did to me? Too bad for you. They're making huge strides with support items these days. And I ain't your boss. The gang's done and gone. Boss! I said to never stray from the path of humanity. Now look how you wound up. He is. Oh, wow. He is. Because All for One became the All Front was evil from the jump, but him reading his comic books gave him his whole like persona. I was always there, reaching out with a guiding hand, teaching you not to head down the wrong path. I'm guessing Chrono never talked back and took you to task. He's pressed up against the glass. Sorry. I'm sorry, boss. Face all pressed up against the glass. Have some dignity. Too little, too late. It's Eri who deserves a lifetime of your sorries anyhow. Nah, that girl will go on to forget all about you. But don't you dare forget what you put her through. And make no mistake, I'll be taking you to task till the day you go to hell. Ooh. That's a satisfying end. Thank you, Detective Tsukauchi. Of course, this is a much better option than making Eri relive that nightmare. What can we do to make it all stop for good? It's not going to stop. No. Well, we could ask Hawks to drum up an army's worth of heroes. Huh? Hawks wields that kind of power? Just joking. Look sharp. Frowns upside down, people. The new first years are joining our lessons today, so we can't all be doom and gloom around them. But we'll barely see them going forward. There's not much contact between grade levels in the hero course. No, Mirio butted his head in our business. Can I get your contact info? And only because we had stuff going on. I'm a huge fan. Let me take a selfie. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, it's dynamite. Of course these two got fangirls. Expel them all. Oh, it's funny. Expel them all. But these first years are intense and Minetta's pissed he's getting no attention. Expel them all. Goodness, man. What a chapter. Dude, I don't want this series to be over, bro.